Alrighty, we are getting closer and closer to the end of MSI, sadly. But this is it. This is the final stretch. It's time for the back who are of banger games. So we have a rematch versus G2 and T1. G2 are looking to get their revenge versus T1 after a heartbreaking defeat in round one of the upper bracket. Meanwhile, T1 are looking to find some type of success to try and make a run and make it to finals against Genji. Beat G2 and then have to beat BLG and then make it to finals against Genji. Can they do it? Who knows? We're going to find out here soon. So we're going to be starting with Bilal's predictions, like always. He has caught up. He's now prediction score 14-7. I am 13-8, and Mystic is, I want to say, 18-3. I believe we'll see that here soon. But yeah, Bilal's not playing around. He wants to come back, so he is predicting G2 3-1, even though he is a T1 fanboy, along with Mystic. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. I love T1. But I'm obviously a G2 fanboy, so. But he has G2 3-1, which I think is the most likely outcome. I don't think T1 are. It's not that I don't think T1 are a good team. I just think there's too many issues going on with T1 right now, and I think G2 is performing way at a higher level than T1 this tournament. So I don't know if T1 are going to be able to do anything to bring it back in time to win this tournament. They could win this series, but I doubt they win this tournament. Faker's having the worst international of his career. Zeus is performing pretty well. Guma, obviously, I said it many times, best player on that team. He's very reliable. Haven't really had a bad game. Carrier is Carrier, but he is being a little shaky. Ona isn't playing up to his best. So yeah, there's that. Meanwhile, for G2, you have Broken Blade, who's performing extremely well, except for those first two games versus 369 in lane. But 369 is like the best laning top laner in the world, right there with Zeus. But yeah, you can't expect BB to not perform in lane this whole tournament. Jungle, Yike, he's been performing like the best jungle in the tournament. I stand by that. Mid laner, Caps, he has been performing, I'd say, the second best mid laner at the tournament behind Chovy. And then Hans and Mickey in that TES series absolutely smashed and really stepped it up. So this is going to be I don't want to say G2 are the favorites because then we'll lose. So yeah, T1 are the favorites. Second loss is absolutely 3-0. Moving on. Mystic scored 18-3. He has predicted a T1 3-2, which, I mean, it could happen. It's T1. They could bounce back somehow. I just personally don't think it's going to happen, and I think G2 will win this series. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. And then I have the bold prediction of G2 are going to absolutely smash T1, and they're going to 3-0 them and move on to face BLG tomorrow. Which I'll make my prediction if that happens. But I think Caps is going to gap Faker. I think Yak is going to gap Ona. I think the creativity of Dylan Falco's drafts alongside the rest of the boys will outmatch what T1 do because they don't know how to draft. They ego draft a lot, and because of that, they just end up with the worst drafts you've ever seen, and they just somehow win games because of it. But against teams like BLG, they punished it. Against teams like G2, they have punished it. T1, TL, if they were a better team, made less mistakes, they would have punished it and 3-0 T1. So because of that, I do think G2 are going to come out here and they're going to stomp them and they're going to 3-0. I think it's going to be a statement. I think this is the West's best chance to win an international in a very long time. It's just going to have to come down to, can G2 stay at this form? Can they stay at this level? And I think they can. I think they prep extremely well. And if you just look at the players, the way they act, the way they carry themselves in interviews, you can just tell they want it more than I think most of the players, most of the teams at this tournament. And with T1 and all their issues, I just think there's no recoverability maybe against G2, so I'm not going to count T1 out, but against teams like BLG or Gen G, I don't think they stand a chance, as we already saw against BLG. So, with that being said, I predict a G2 3-0, and that is it for our predictions of MSI Round 3 lower bracket. I'll be back tomorrow with an update and predictions on who wins this series and who will face BLG for a right to face Gen G and Chovy in the finals, and a right to get their team 4 seeds, and the right to go to Worlds. First time ever at MSI, the winner team gets a spot at Worlds. But we will see all of that tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoy the series.